And speaking of hairdresser, boy, somebody's making some money because look who's in the front row.
And there's Bill Shaw beside him.
But yeah, so we got Bill Shaw, we got Ted Turner, we got Jane Fonda, and now a promo from the Nature Boy, who's got a V-neck in 1994. This is a cool look for 1994 for the Nature Boy. How would you describe those long flowing locks from Nate right there?
Those are a product of a lot of bleach and a lot of days at the hairstylist. That's what that is. And Gene, Mean Gene here. God, boy, do I miss him.
I mean, can you imagine how much fun he'd be having with wrestling today? The best.
He was something else. Gene was legendary, and I'm not talking about always in the ring. Anybody who hung out with him, and Ric Flair hung out with him some. Rick called him Doctor. And he was just an amazing guy. And you know, he was, when he was first brought over here, when I say brought over here, when he first left the WWE and came to WCW, I remember I was sitting in my office and he walked down the hallway and I had heard he was coming. And I went, oh my God. And I talked to him and I said, Gene, I said, I need to tell you something here. I said, this is not like the WWF. It's a little looser here. It's not as organized. It's not as, well, it's not as big. So let me tell you, you got to kind of just dig in here and not get too upset about things not happening the way you remember them happening in Stamford, Connecticut. And Gene said, yeah, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But he did get frustrated many, many times. And so did Bobby Heenan, because they were used to things working the way they did there. And it was very organized up there. I know I worked up there for a year. And for us, smaller facility, you know, we had that very small facility in the CNN Center until Eric took over. And then we moved out of the CNN Center, which was a smart move. But he got frustrated a lot. And it got to him a little bit, but it never at all affected his work, because he was still just absolute best. Really, really was. Dave McClay says, love the training videos with him and the Hulkster. That was back in the early days.
Yeah, man. The early days of WrestleMania. Like
Right.
That's 40 years ago. That was awesome stuff though.
Yeah. And I believe there was and I watched it when I went to WWF. I believe he and Hogan were going to be a team in Minneapolis. And they did some training videos where, you know, Hulk came to get him and he was getting ready to have a big spread and breakfast and he had a cigar and Hulk says, no, we got to run. And it was really, really, really well done. So, yeah, man, he was, as Rajiv just told us, he was the man.
Hey, speaking of the man, you got to hang out with my man Casio last week. How was your experience hanging out with Casio last Monday night?
Casio is great. He's a funny son of a bitch, man.
Yeah, he is.
Has he moved out of your old house?
Oh yeah. He bought a house like 6 months ago.
Okay. So where am I? Gee whiz. Did you put the old house in the market? Has it been sold?
The house is on the market, but Casio's the realtor, so it won't sell anytime soon.
Jungle Jim Steele.
I mean, what a fucking gimmick and a half this shit is right here, right?
Yeah,
it could be Fred Avery. Fred Avery looks like it looks like me with my shirt off, kind of, really.
Well, I think that's more of a Casio look, really.
Nah, he's a hairless too.
Yeah. Look at that.
I think that might actually be a requirement now that I'm thinking about it. I think all my friends are hairless.
Yeah. Jungle Jim Steele looks like a combination of, I don't know, Jimmy Snuka and
Chippendale.
And
look at those boots. Tarzan.
And the Renegade, maybe. I don't know. Tarzan.
I'll tell you what, it looks his work looks like shit, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but he looked good, right?
I mean, I'm not even going to say that. I think he looks awkward. Even Ted knows this is not very good. This is cheesy.
Yeah. And James like, what the fuck are you watching, Ted? You want a blowjob when I get back?
Oh God, dude. What are we? Oh, this just that just looks weird, man.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Yeah.
Not a handsome fellow.
No.
How would you describe what he's doing here? I mean, this looks like is this his first time in a wrestling ring? I mean, that looks like what Jimmy Sorensen did in the ring when he was here in Huntsville 2 weeks ago.
He's trying to be the Ultimate Warrior. Here's what he's trying to be. He doesn't know.
That was not it, bud.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but that's I don't even know how Lou Thez is upset with that.
Hey, so give me a time code here. Where are you?
Well, I'm not where I wish I was. I'll tell you that because I'm 15 minutes in. 14:59, 15, 15:01, 15:02.
Yeah, that's me.
And now we've got Mean Gene in the front row. To his right shoulder, on our left, is the one and only Ted Turner. Who is sitting behind Ted? These are people who were in suits. I assume those are Turner people.
Yeah, they got to be Turner people. Now, as I said, Bill Shaw is next to Gene. You can't see him. And then on down from Bill Shaw is Bob Dew, who worked in the front office as well. Yes. And those are the only ones I know. These must be one of them could be Ted's son. I don't know if he had a son or a daughter, but most of them are TBS office stooges, you know. See, they're hanging on every word Ted says.
Oh man, so intently.
Yeah.
Which I get. I mean, shit, if I was in Ted's orbit, I'd be trying to learn something too.
Yeah. He was ahead of his time, wasn't he? I mean, if you think about it,
talk about a real maverick, a real cowboy, a real renegade. What a visionary that dude was.
Real TV pioneer, no doubt about it.
They're going to break. We are not. We've got the World Television Championship match coming up. I see people, Bobby, asking for the time code. We're watching the Super Brawl Control Center here at 16, 14, 15, 16, 17, 16, 18 is where we are right now, Bobby. Hey, well, they're doing a Super Brawl Control Center. I say we do one for AEW this Saturday night. It's AEW Collision Grand Slam from Australia. We're going to have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay teaming up against Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. We've got the Death Riders taking on Cope and Jay White in a Brisbane Brawl match. We've got Mercedes Moné versus Harley Cameron for the TBS Championship. We've got Toni Storm and Mariah May for the Women's World Title. And we've got Okada and Buddy Matthews for the AEW Continental Championship. This is a big-time card. I'm looking forward to it. Is there one match that stands out above all the rest that you're looking for, Tony?
Well, I want to see Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay team together. I think everybody who loves wrestling and loves what we do has to love those two kids together. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But, man, Toni Storm and Mariah May.
Oh, man, they're going to be something. What a great story. One of the better stories in AEW history, really.
Yeah, it really was. And both of them are such great performers and have done so much for the women's division. So I'm looking forward to that one, I think, more than anything else. Also, how about Harley Cameron's halftime?
Oh, dude, it was so great. I actually watched it with Megan. Mm-hmm. You know, we're both big Harley Cameron fans. And the idea that she walks around with a fucking puppet, dude.
Yeah.
It just got all over me. Super talented. She's over like Rover. Right. I even saw Dave Meltzer say it was akin to Ric Flair and Sting at the first Clash of the Champions. Mercedes Moné advised him to shut the fuck up. That made me happy.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I flying out of Austin into LAX, and then from LAX flying into Brisbane, and that's 14 hours and 45 minutes of a flight.
You going to take some sleepy night medicine?
I'm going to take a little melatonin.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some Tylenol PMs. Who knows?
Well, I hope you get some good rest. I know that flight is no joke, but I know you're going to have a great time. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. It's going to be a big day at my household because you've got the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide hosting the biggest basketball game in the history of Tuscaloosa as Auburn comes to town. It's the same day as the NBA All-Star game, and immediately following that All-Star game, it's time for some AEW from down under. It's going to be a big Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a big weekend, and of course, it'll be on Max as well. And we are looking forward to that. We've had a lot of good feedback being on Max, and I'm very, very excited about that. And Alabama's number 1, huh?
I couldn't believe it, dude. When the rankings came out as we're recording earlier today, it was like, okay, didn't see this coming. Count me in.
Yeah, SEC basketball has gotten pretty darn good.
The tournament's going to be nuts this year.
Yeah.
We're still watching old school WCW here from 1994, and you're in for a treat. We've got the Patriot Dale Wilkes coming to the ring here, and I kind of forgot he was even here in 94.
So
But
did
this will be fun because it's Lord Steven Regal, our television champion, and Regal's in phenomenal shape here against Dale Wilkes, who looks like $1,000,000. This is a fun match no matter the year, dude.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Of course, anything Regal did back then was good. Just the way his demeanor, the way he approached the match. Big, as you know, I think we all are big Regal fans. I want to be a patriot, and I want to learn how to spell too. God bless you.
What a great look from Regal, man.
Yeah.